Just when it seemed Prince Harry and Meghan Markle might finally recede from public controversy, Dr. Sophie Chandauka has dropped a bombshell that reignites the storm around the Sussexes, this time with damning claims that go beyond personal grievances and into the realm of calculated manipulation. The chairwoman of Sentebale, a charity Harry co-founded, has not only accused him of bullying and harassment, but now alleges that the true motive behind the couple's involvement with the organization was far from noble. According to Dr. Chandauka, their intent was not solely philanthropy, but image management, using the charity platform to push their own agenda, gain public favor, and prop up their narrative against the royal family. Dr. Chandauka's latest revelations strike at the very core of what Harry and Meghan claim to stand for. While they have presented themselves as victims of a rigid and cruel monarchy, persecuted by the British press and ostracized for their honesty, Chandauka paints a different picture, one where the couple sought to exploit the goodwill of a charitable cause to curry public favor. In her words, the Sussexes' involvement with Sentebale had less to do with helping vulnerable communities and more to do with helping themselves. This isn't just a public relations misstep. It's a betrayal of trust, not only toward the charity's mission but also toward the public who supported it under the belief that the Sussexes' intentions were pure. According to Dr. Chandauka, Harry's efforts to unseat her from her leadership position were part of a broader plan to exert influence and ensure that Sentebale's messaging aligned with their personal brand. When those efforts failed, she says, Harry abruptly resigned as patron, an action she believes was deliberately designed to hurt the organization's credibility and future prospects. It's a shocking accusation that a prince who once walked alongside his mother in the fight against AIDS in Africa would stoop to sabotaging the very charity he helped create. But it is also consistent with a pattern of behavior that has become all too familiar. Harry and Meghan have often portrayed themselves as champions of compassion and justice, yet time and again, they have left behind a trail of fractured relationships, disgruntled allies, and broken institutions. Dr. Chandauka's testimony calls into question the very foundation of the couple's public persona. Her suggestion that they used the charity as a tool to manipulate public sentiment is especially damning. In an era where authenticity is currency, the idea that Harry and Meghan were orchestrating a campaign to sway opinion through charity work reveals a level of cynicism that stands in stark contrast to their carefully polished image. What makes these revelations even more unsettling is how closely they mirror past accusations. Meghan was previously accused of bullying by royal staff during her time at Kensington Palace, a claim that the couple vehemently denied and dismissed as part of a smear campaign. Now, Harry stands accused of similar behavior by a respected professional outside the royal institution. For those keeping track, it's increasingly difficult to maintain the belief that these are isolated incidents or the result of misunderstandings. Instead, they appear to be part of a pattern, exerting control, silencing dissent, and retaliating when challenged. Even more disturbing is the apparent willingness of Harry and Meghan to compromise the integrity of charitable work to serve their own ends. Dr. Chandauka has made it clear that her objections were not about clashing egos but about safeguarding the mission and independence of Sentebale. Her resistance to their influence, she claims, is what prompted the backlash and ultimately, Harry's resignation. To those still holding out hope that Harry and Meghan are simply misunderstood, this episode serves as a sobering reality check. Dr. Chandauka is not a tabloid journalist or a royal courtier. She is an accomplished, respected professional in the philanthropic world. Her decision to speak out, despite the inevitable backlash, suggests a deep concern not only for her own reputation but for the future of the organization she leads. In her latest statements, Dr. Chandauka doesn't mince words. She describes an environment where subtle coercion and strategic messaging took precedence over genuine charitable goals. Where being liked and believed was more important to Harry and Meghan than delivering actual results. Her account portrays the couple not as humble benefactors, but as brand managers obsessed with their own narrative, using the vulnerable as a stepping stone. Harry's response to the allegations has been to dismiss them as blatant lies, and he has called for the Charity Commission to investigate the matter. Yet even this response has an air of defensiveness that does little to inspire confidence. Rather than addressing the specific concerns raised by Dr. Chandauka, Harry has focused on discrediting her motives, an approach that mirrors his past responses to criticism and only adds weight to the idea that he refuses to be held accountable. It is telling that this scandal has not prompted the usual outpouring of support from their inner circle. Perhaps even those once sympathetic to the Sussexes are beginning to see the cracks in their public image. When principled individuals like Dr. Chandauka step forward with serious allegations, the default defense of "we're being targeted" no longer holds water. At some point, the Sussexes will have to grapple with the possibility that they are not always the victims in these scenarios. Dr. Chandauka's revelations may well mark a turning point. They signal that not everyone is willing to stay silent in the face of manipulation and behind-the-scenes power plays. For Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the consequences of this scandal could be long-lasting. Not just in terms of public image, but in the erosion of trust among those who once believed in their mission. The curtain has been pulled back, and what lies behind it is not the image of two courageous reformers, but something far more troubling. If Dr. Chandauka's claims are true, then the Sussexes have not only betrayed a charitable cause, they have betrayed the very ideals they claim to uphold. And that may be the most damaging revelation of all.